Good day everybody, iSleep here, and in this video we'll be breaking down the Season 9 balance changes. Starting off with the assault rifles, the Lag 53 got a much needed buff this season. The Para Barrel, which is the semi-auto conversion on this weapon, now has a higher fire rate cap than the base weapon, going from 400 rounds per minute to 430 rounds per minute, which is slightly faster than the Odin, although most players won't be able to hit this fire rate cap. The barrel will also now boost its headshot damage quite significantly, allowing it to one-tap to the head in the initial range. Now this change makes the Para Barrel a much more worthwhile option, although it still has a terrible 2-tap consistency and a very punishing fire rate, so it will still be a lower tier option. Now for the change that everyone's been waiting for, the BP50 is finally receiving a nerf, more specifically to the 60 round mags. Its bullet velocity penalty has been increased from 5% to 15%, which is effectively a bullet speed reduction of around 100 meters per second. Now this will make it slightly less consistent at taking long-range gunfights, but within close to mid-range, this is perfectly manageable. They've also removed the hidden 5% strafe speed bonus and added an additional 8% strafe speed penalty, so you can think of this as more of a 13% strafe speed reduction. Now this change actually does take care of one of the reasons the BP50 is so dominant, the ability to strafe as fast as SMGs. But the strafe speed will still be faster than average for assault rifles, and it still retains its absurd time to kill profile paired with low recoil and fast ADS time, meaning that the BP50 will still be the go-to aggressive assault rifle. The Grau's Drifter barrel now improves the fire rate from 732 rounds per minute to 778 rounds per minute, making it a more appealing option if you want to build it as a close-range weapon. Although, this isn't exactly an ideal way to build the Grau, since there's very little reason to use it over an actual SMG. Still, it provides a fun alternative way to use the weapon. The strafe speed penalty of the Kilo 141's Marksman barrel has gone down by 10%, making it a more efficient option for a passive build. Still, the weapon struggles in the current meta as the time to kill is not fast enough to reliably keep up with the top-tier assault rifles. The Type 25's hit flinch has been reduced from 0.9 to 0.8, and its sprint to fire time was reduced from 170 milliseconds to 140 milliseconds. Now, these are some welcome changes, but 0.8 hit flinch is still quite high for an assault rifle, and the weapon still suffers from poor range, BSA, and not enough mobility for what is an aggressive assault rifle, meaning that it will still be a lower tier option. Moving on to the SMGs, the GKS received a damage buff, making it more consistent in the first and third damage ranges. Its ADS time is also getting reduced by 20 milliseconds, which is a welcome change since the weapon has suffered from having below average ADS time for an SMG. Now the GKS is already a very strong off-meta option due to its 3-tap time to kill and excellent 4-tap range. So now, if you're looking for a decent alternative to the DRH, this is actually a very good option. The most interesting change this season will go to the AGR. For starters, its ADS time has been reduced by 20 milliseconds, which is actually quite helpful since most builds tend to have slower ADS times. The damage profile has also been improved, meaning that the base weapon will never need more than 6 shots to kill. Although this is more so for the 5.56 ammo conversion, since you likely won't be using the base weapon at those kinds of ranges. Speaking of which, the 5.56 mags are getting a massive overhaul. Instead of improving the damage directly, it will now increase the damage multipliers to the areas above the legs. Long story short, this means that it will have a range profile that is very comparable to the Kilo 141, just with a slightly faster time to kill and way better mobility. Not to mention that this 60 round mag significantly reduces the horizontal recoil, which makes it even better at range. Now all this sounds very good, but in the current meta where time to kill is king, the AGR doesn't quite kill fast enough. So despite how big this buff seems, the AGR will still be an off-meta option. The last SMG change will go to the Pharo, in which its recoil recovery speed has been improved. Additionally, the range of foregrip will now reduce horizontal recoil quite significantly, by 16%. Both of these changes aim to make the Pharo more usable at mid-range, but the recoil is still quite high and unpredictable, meaning that it's still very difficult to use it outside of close quarters. Moving on to everyone's favorite marksman rifle, the SKS. Its upper arm multipliers are getting improved, making 2-shot kills, especially at longer ranges, much more consistent. The hit flinch will also be significantly improved, going from 2 to 1.4. This means that you can be much more liberal when it comes to building for mobility, as you don't have to stack quite as many attachments for a hit flinch. I suspect this weapon is getting buffed in preparation for the Type 63, the new marksman rifle that's being added this season, which will perform very similarly. But the biggest winner of the season will go to the MK2. receiving a significant reduction to its ADS time of 60 milliseconds. This means that with the right attachments, you can get a ridiculously fast ADS time of around 250 milliseconds, which blows every single sniper rifle and marksman rifle out of the water. Additionally, its hit flinch is getting reduced, all the way down to 1.6, so even with all of the bells and whistles, you'll still have slightly lower hit flinch than the Tundra. All of this combined with having excellent one-tap hitboxes makes it quite easily the best weapon for quickscoping, with the only downside being that you can't wallbang. Moving on to the secondaries, the base range of the machine pistol is being improved by 3 meters. Now this pistol is already an excellent option for close ranges due to its excellent time to kill, so this is a welcome change for extending its effective range. Finally, after being one of the worst weapons to ever exist in Codm's history, the D13 Sector, or as I like to call it, the pizza gun, will receive a significant buff to its projectile speed and the number of bounces, being able to bounce up to 7 times now. This does make it seem like a very interesting option for clearing rooms such as the Hardpoints or Nuketown, although this will still need some playtesting to see if it's still a meme weapon or an actually viable strat. The overheal of the Tag 5 operator skill will be increased from 50 to 60. Now this doesn't sound like a lot, but it will help for increasing the shots to kill for certain weapons. For example, the BP-50 will take an extra shot to kill. Next is an operator skill that's so underwhelming that I forgot existed, the Havoc, which is now receiving some much needed improvements. Its effective range and angle of effect have been significantly improved. Additionally, the points obtained from assists and disabling score streaks will now be increased. Both of these changes should make the Havoc more usable, but given its lack of combat utility, it will still be a bottom tier option. The MQ-27 Dragonfire score streak has been nerfed, with its ammo capacity being reduced by 1 and the scan duration being reduced by 5 seconds. Now this change does seem a bit unnecessary, but keep in mind that this is a very powerful option in the hands of a higher tier player, as it does give the entire team legal wall hacks. Among the throwable equipment, only the Cryo Bomb has been changed, with its AoE being improved by 1 meter, making it slightly better for area denial in objective game modes. But considering that it can still be destroyed by shooting it, this won't be quite as annoying as something like a gas grenade. 2 of the green perks have received some changes. The enemy detection radius of the Recon perk has been improved by 3 meters. This will make it an interesting option in a hardpoint and search and destroy, where you can identify the locations of nearby enemies with a single kill. But it will still be outclassed by the sheer combat utility you can get from Toughness, Gung-Ho, and Quick Fix. The Serpentine perk also received a minor buff, with its damage reduction being improved by 2%. But this change does nothing to address the main issue, the fact that you have to sprint for an extended period of time to experience its damage resistance, making it entirely useless in the context of a gunfight. Now for the Battle Royale exclusive changes, the bullet damage reduction of the Refitter class has been improved, and the Trapmaster skill cooldown has been reduced as well. Please make sure to like and subscribe. This is iSleep, going dark.